Hi, everyone. Welcome back to In the Booth, a series of events that talk about things that we as students just don't get taught a lot. This episode is all about budgeting and finance. This is one that you guys really was opting for. And so I came here with some very nice professionals who I'm going to introduce. They're from the student support team. And yeah, who are you guys and what do you guys do?
My name's Lucy, and I am a student support advisor specialising in finance and funding.
My name's Faith, and I am a student mental health and wellbeing advisor.
So Lucy and Faith have also been in talks with me about, a workshop series, which is at the time of recording hasn't happened yet, but can't wait for that to happen. We're going to do a bit of an icebreaker. This is called Meal Deal Ranking. Just at this point, we're going to list which one we think is most expensive and least expensive. You don't have to go through the whole list, just which one's most, which one's least. We've got Tesco, Sainsbury's, Morrison's, Boots, Co-op, and M&S. Which one do you guys think is most expensive? Which one do you think is least expensive?
I would put Boots at least expensive and M&S, or I think Sainsbury's at most expensive.
I would also go for M&S as most expensive. I think Boots is sort of mid-range, but Tesco and Morrison's probably my cheapest options.
I would personally, because I shop there a lot, Tesco's, and obviously we've got a Tesco's near the campus as well, so I would like to say that it's the least expensive, and obviously M&S is like a bougie place, so it's going to be most expensive. But the answers are it's £3.85 on a meal deal at Tesco's for a meal deal and £4.25 without. At Sainsbury's it's £3.50. Morrison's £4. Boots it's £3.60 with advantage, but you can also get a student discount on top of that, I believe. Co-op £4 without. £3.50 with their card or advantage card, and M&S is at a staggering £5, but you get 25% off at uni days. Stunning. Cosy Livy is a real thing, guys, and we're very sorry about that, but we're all struggling through it in our adult lives. So we've gotten to hear about who you guys are. A lot of students now that I've helped with that, but a lot of students do feel a lot of budget anxiety, worrying about money before they even spend it. What advice would you give to those new fresher students who have just come here and are already feeling anxious about spending? What is some advice that you'd personally give them?
My first piece of advice is that a lot of people are in a similar position, and although you might think that you're panicking about your finances and how you're going to manage, how you're going to get through the first term or all of uni, a lot of other people are in similar positions. Yeah. And I think it's good to be transparent about that with people around you, whether it's coming to student support and speaking to us about it, or chatting with friends and going how are you managing? Because I don't know how I'm going to do it. And you might either get some good advice or find that there are other people who you can relate to there.
Yeah. Do you also have another time?
It's sort of echoing what Lucy said. The Students' Union and Student Support are here to help with things like that. The finance team are amazing and can really help with budgeting. And it's just a case of learning as you go as well. We all make mistakes when it comes to money, and it's not the end of the world. It's just picking yourself back up and figuring out what went wrong and how to do it a little bit better next time. Just 1% better. It's better.
And you said we all go through it, obviously, and it's a learning curve. I don't want to say us as adults because everyone who comes to uni is an adult, but us who is in the working world, I've noticed we still make funny decisions with our money. What's the funniest thing that you guys have done recently with your money that you're oh, I shouldn't have done that?
I'm trying to think of one, and I'm I don't know if funny would be the word.
Not funny then. Yeah, regretful.
You're blank. Do you have anything? I'll have a think. No.
I think for me personally, the wardrobe season is here now where you're starting to feel the weather. And I'm one of those people who like to think that they're fashionable. I'm probably not, but I have been, given some clothes to charity, which is great, I've saved money. And then I go straight to Primark and I'm just shopping haul. So I know that could have gone to food. I know that could have probably gone to bills, but I've decided that being fashionably poor is better than being broke and not good at it. So that's me.
I've
So
thought of one.
yeah, cool.
I have had a string of like friends and family members' birthdays over the summer, and
Oh,
something I've done repeatedly is I'll be like, I don't have much money. They don't have much money. We all know this. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like I won't necessarily use a present, or I'll give them something for secondhand. But I've had something you can't really get secondhand is birthday cards. So I've bought a series of birthday cards and forgotten to give them to them. And each time it's someone else's birthday, I think, oh, I'll probably give that birthday card to them eventually. Half the time I've not even written in it.
Yeah.
But then I'll buy a new birthday card, and I currently have like maybe 5 birthday cards that are either written or unwritten or addressed and not written at my house.
Do they have ages on them as well? Like,
No.
okay, cool, that's good.
They are like any occasion cards, but
Yeah.
just realistically from the fact that I have so many, I
Yeah.
probably won't think to use them again, and I probably will get another. I bought another card last week.
Well, yeah, I think so. I think my family does that a lot, but like it's like anniversary cards, and you can only give an anniversary card once the anniversary's there. So yeah, it's like it's a bit weird, but there are 6 of us in our family, so luckily they do get used, but then something's always added on to the end of it. Speaking of worries, and for some students, it's not just about money itself, it's about overwhelming budgeting and how it can feel. For students with anxiety, ADHD, or other neurodiversities, budgeting can feel like an extra challenge on top of what they already feel. What tips do you have to make it less stressful or more manageable for those students in particular?
Okay. I think the budgeting advice generally is very focused on neurotypical people
Yeah.
and the neurotypical experience
Mm-hmm.
in terms of relying on organisation skills or the ability to actually stick to systems that you put in place.
Mm-hmm.
So with the students who might struggle with anxiety or be neurodivergent, it's about sort of trying to take a step back and really simplify the process in terms of looking at what systems are already in place that you're sticking to. Like, are you using a club card?
Yeah.
Are you using one bank account? Can you use something like Monzo and create pots in those bank accounts? And just generally trying to simplify the processes, like setting standing orders or direct debits for your regular payments to go through. But I think also if you have ADHD or you spend money impulsively, part of the budgeting process for you should be around planning for the unplanned.
Yeah.
So for those impulse purchases, setting aside a bit of money each month if you can, because it's likely that you are going to have a hyperfixation and you're going to want to spend all of your money on some wool and some crochet hooks. So it's just about planning for that and being gentle with yourself when that happens.
Yeah.
I think.
And I think it's important to talk about like being gentle with yourself. Don't beat yourself up too much. There are support systems around when it comes to that. Speaking of which, what are the support systems that students can get into, especially here at Norwich Uni?
So, in terms of those sort of financial support systems, there's the Financial Support Fund, which is our hardship fund for students who are struggling with money. We look at every application on a case-by-case basis. So, like, if you're receiving the full loan, or you have any other sort of reasons that you think you might not be eligible, do still apply, because you don't actually know what the eligibility criteria is, and it might come up that you are eligible.
Yeah.
There's the discounted bus pass that you can get for all students, but also an extra discount based on your postcode. There is the Sports and Participation Fund, which if you feel a little bit sort of like disconnected from your community, or if you're struggling to maintain hobbies that you think would be good for your well-being, then that money can go towards that. We also do budgeting one-to-one sessions, as well as the budgeting workshop that's coming up. And another thing, it's not strictly speaking financial support, but the mental health and well-being team are always there, and I think taking care of your mental health and well-being is really important when looking at managing your financial life.
I think especially because when money is such a taboo topic, I think a lot of people don't like talking about it. Similarly to mental health as well, like both of them are being talked about more and more, and it's getting a little bit easier to have that conversation. But it's so easy to get into a cycle of feeling anxious about money or feeling depressed and then spending money.
Yeah.
And then you look at the money that you've spent and you feel more anxious and you feel more depressed again.
Yeah.
So having somebody to talk to, even if you don't feel comfortable to come to us just yet, but talking to a friend or somebody else that you trust about all of these concerns can be really, really helpful. And just open that conversation up and you might find that they feel the same too as well.
And that's funny because that's a myth that's been busted when it comes to finances. People feel like they just can't talk about it because it's so, like you said, taboo. So are there any other myths that you guys can bust today about the whole money aspect and money in general, really, or when it comes to budgeting and finance as well?
So one that I see a lot is that there's kind of two sides to this, and they sort of contradict each other, but I think that they exist for the same reason. But one is that students, like people will sometimes go to uni because they get a loan and it's kind of like free money.
Yeah.
And that students are kind of comfortable financially. But another one is that if you are a student, you will have no money.
Yeah.
And you kind of need to accept that you're just going to live off like pot noodle, and you're not going to be able to, you're going to finish uni in like well into your overdraft and in like debt, and you're going to have not had a good time financially. And both of those are untrue in their own way, because it's not it is a case by case situation where like your student loan is calculated based on your household income, so obviously that will differ. It also, like if you're over 25, you'll get the full loan, or because it will be based on your income, and one would assume you're not earning loads if you're at uni. But also that like you get the same amount over most of the country except for London, and prices differ depending on where you are in the country. Also, like if you're working part-time, or if your university has like things like the hardship fund or bursaries in place, then it'll look very different. So you don't need to worry that you're going to really struggle if you're a student, regardless of your situation. But you also need to bear in mind that like it's not necessarily a free pass to just like free money. And that you need to be careful of that as well. So basically don't get too comfortable, but also don't worry too much.
There's a middle ground, basically. Do you have any myths that you want to bust?
I think just echoing what Lucy has said. I think we came up with loads.
You brought up the DSA one.
Yeah, just around disabled students allowance, and because it's called an allowance, and people often think that means that it is funding that's allocated to the student. But I highly recommend anybody who's has a disability or has a condition that affects their daily life apply for DSA, even if it isn't free money, because it can really help you to put in place support services and technology that might help you with your studies.
And also, even if you don't have a diagnosis yet.
Cool. So there's many things out there that we've just busted. I guess when it comes to these, there's a main issue when it comes to students and their social life. They want to have a social life. They want to go partying. They want to go pubbing. And sometimes they just want to have a craft night. And maybe they want to go to one of the game cafes and just play games. But nothing good really ever comes easy or cheap. How do students balance social life and budgeting at the same time, or like money at the same time?
So there are a few things. Firstly, I would really recommend, like you kind of touched upon this already in terms of planning for the unplanned. But I would extend that to socializing in terms of like it's
part of your budget.
Well,
you can't budget for the essentials. You have to budget for the fun.
For the fun.
And whether you do that like weekly or monthly, I would recommend doing it not kind of going like, oh, okay, I've budgeted all the things I need to be spending on. Now I've got this amount and I can spend that on fun stuff, because you may well find that you go out loads in your first month at uni, and then you run out of that bit of your budget, and then find that when there's like events on later on in the term, or when it's getting like darker outside and colder and you kind of maybe want that pick me up, then you run out of that money. So I would recommend looking at what your sort of fun budget is and splitting that, whether it's weekly or monthly or whatever. So that you're not spending it all in one place, basically. But also I would discuss with friends, like, what are cheaper socializing activities, because like a lot of the time you're probably not going to a specific like like evening event just for the activity. You're going to spend time with people and spend time with your friends. So it might be worth discussing with your friends, like, oh, do you think maybe like on that night we could just like put some music on at home and play games at home, and or like all cook a meal together, or do like a potluck or something, and have, you know, still do treat yourself to that night out sometimes, but be mindful that there are like other ways you can have that same sort of like dopamine, basically. Also, I know it's not quite the same, but there are societies that do like fun activities, and like is there a board game society?
There's a board game society. There's a tabletop society. There's a bunch of societies, and most of them are free, except from like the sports clubs and you know, like yoga and stuff. But from dance society to board game to D&D to Disney society, there's a bunch of different societies that are all free, and it's a nice or easy night out. And luckily now we've got this building, Bank Plain. We're looking into extending the nights. So yeah, there's actually a couple of things that so watch the space. There's some good events coming out soon. Guys, I want to say a big thank you from the student support team and from Lucy and Faith for taking the time out to actually do this, as well as the workshop in the future or in the past when this happened.
But also, if you've missed the workshop, then you can contact us for budgeting one-to-ones.
Absolutely. And where can they find you guys?
They can either come in to drop in Bank Plain and the student support bit of Bank Plain, or you can contact us via email at student.finance@norwichuni.ac.uk.
If you want general support as well, you can email support@norwichuni.ac.uk.
And if you need any Students' Union help, you can find us at studentsunion@norwichuni.ac.uk. Thanks, guys. At this time, this won't be the end. We're actually going to skip to another segment where I was at Freshers' Fair asking a bunch of students some fun and some serious questions about budgeting and finance. Take it away, past Daniel, and scene. Thank you guys so much.
Charlie,
what is your go-to struggle meal when times gets rough?
I'd say just pasta, some grated cheese, all you need.
Just pasta and grated cheese. Okay, that's great. Can I ask questions? Yes, thank you. Do you think the university does enough to support students with the cost of living?
I wouldn't know. I'm here. I was been here for 4 days, but I'd say yes.
Yeah. How much do you think a pint of milk costs right now?
Like £1.50.
And what shop is that from?
Aldi.
Okay, cool. What's the most ridiculous thing you've blown your student loan on? You haven't got them yet, have you? They ain't got their student loans yet. Do you use any apps or tools to help manage your money?
Yes.
Would you like to elaborate?
Monzo. It's Monzo.
Monzo. We do not sponsor it, but it's a good app. Now I've got to ask a funny one. Be honest, what's the most outrageous thing you've bought instead of groceries?
A game called Hot Dog and Chicken.
How much was that?
£16.
Right. Okay, guys. If you want a hot dog and a chicken, you have to pay £16. What about you? What's more expensive, eggs or printer ink?
I wouldn't know because I haven't bought any printer ink.
Eggs, then. What's one tip that you have for a first-year student when it comes to budgeting this year?
I'd suggest meal planning and buying in one shop rather than buying every day.
And a serious question, maybe to finish off, you can answer this one.
Oh, angry.
Get that in. That's hilarious. Disrespectful. Jesus. Anyway, I didn't even know they had horns. Guys, I'm so sorry you got honked at. Are you guys okay? Yeah, you guys are fine. Can you answer a couple questions for me?
For the international students, if you don't have yet the bank or something and you have to exchange the money, check the apps and banks that they are international, and then if you download the app, you can get notification about your spendings, so it's very helpful to track your spendings.
Thank you. And what about you?
Buy fresh food at the end of the day. You get reductions and your money goes further.
Thank you guys so much. Enjoy your coffee. Do you think side hustles or part-time jobs are necessary to survive in university?
Yeah, we're all broke.
I've got a job, so I don't have that perspective.
50-50 really.
Do you think meal deals are smart to budget on? And if you had a choice of a Tesco meal deal right now, what would you buy?
Probably like something really basic like Walker's crisps and just like a ham and cheese sandwich.
Yeah.
So lame.
Or you don't have crisps, you have snack, you have like the chocolates.
Okay.
I'd go for the fruits actually, because you know it's a bit of your 5 a day. Last but not least, guys, what is your ultimate broke but happy treat? Broke but happy.
I like buying really cheap chocolate bars from like corner shops, like ones at like 50p,
Yeah.
like the baking ones.
Chocolate bars. The knockoff chocolate bars are really funny.
Chocolate bars are the best.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. We're gonna keep moving on, everyone.